Words of Jesus and the Christian gospel. The Lord Jesus spoke of two ways in life. There are only two, the broad way and the narrow way. Many people, and I did it as a young man, they've got no idea why they're on this planet. They don't know, you don't know where you're going.
Yes.
And you think that that's true, maybe how you feel, but the Lord Jesus said, everybody is going somewhere. Nobody is going nowhere, even if you feel it. There's a woman called Hagar. She had a young son. She'd just been thrown out of her house. It's a true story. Hagar found herself in the desert, desperate. Her water had run out, food provision that Isaac had given her. She'd been thrown out of the house because of the jealousy of another woman. But Hagar had done something. She'd prayed. And when you pray from your heart, which is what Hagar had done, God hears it. You may have prayed from your heart in desperation some time ago. You may have forgotten it, but God hasn't. God doesn't forget the prayer that He hears. And any prayer that you or I pray from our heart, our Maker hears. My friend, I'm out here today to tell you, God knows all about you. He loves you. It's not like Google. Google knows all about you. Google doesn't love you. Google's out to make money off you through their advertisements. But God knows all about us and He loves us. How do we know He loves us? Here's the evidence. God demonstrated on the cross 2,000 years ago how much He loves us. And it's at the cross that you have to come. I was watching a video yesterday. It was a man written a book, and he researched this book, and he'd asked many CEOs and top businessmen, lots of them, had they ever had any God-type experiences. He was expecting just a few to say yeah. Most of those men said yes they had. But most of them had done nothing about it. How about you today? God has spoken. God speaks. Are you going to respond to Him? Has God given you a dream or a vision? Has God sent a messenger, maybe a relative, maybe a neighbour, and they've invited you to their church, but you've ignored it? That's God speaking. God uses people, usually. He can do it directly and give you a dream or a vision. He does that. You need to respond to it. God, my friend, will allow you to get into a mess. Why? Because He wants you to come to your senses. When Jesus told the parable of the prodigal son, the great thing was the father let the eldest son go. He's got freedom. You've got freedom. But when we use our freedom, like the gay community or the abortionists, to thumb our finger at our Maker, things go wrong. Look at our country today. Things have gone wrong. It's not just broken Britain. Britain has been shattered socially, economically, morally. Look at Channel 4. Naked so-called teachers standing before under 16-year kids. Nothing's done about it. Collapse. My friend, Jesus said the broad way goes down to destruction. Your life today is broken in bits. hear the story of the shattered stained glass window. Back in 1940, a German bomb, Nazi bomb, landed on a church in London. And the bomb shattered the beautiful stained glass window. The people of that congregation made a vow to God, and they said, when the war's over, we will reassemble the broken stained glass window. And they did. 5-6 years later, they spent months reassembling it, putting all the broken bits back together. And at the opening ceremony, as the curtains drew back, there was a gasp, because the beauty of that window was dazzling. Was it the same as before? No, of course not, it was different. But the love, the commitment that had gone into that restoration was honoured by God, and it was a beautiful restored window. Do you think God can't restore your life? Of course He can. If furniture restorers can put back together broken furniture, do you think God can't put your life back together? He's doing it every day. Millions have come to Jesus, given Him their broken lives, and He's restored it. He does it progressively, year after year, putting our lives back together. Purpose, joy. No longer wandering around on the hillside like an orphan. No, now God is my dad. God is the Father of every follower of Jesus. You said yes to Him yet? Or are you still wandering around on the hillside? Falling down another ditch, hoping something else, your next big project will satisfy you. It won't. Jesus said, I am the bread of life. There's no other satisfaction. No matter how popular you may be, no matter how much you like your job, you and I were made for God's energy and life to be flowing through us. And until He does it, you'll be empty on the inside, no matter how much of a front you put on. So today, my friend, don't think you're going nowhere. You're not. You're going somewhere. And Jesus said you'll either go on the broad road down to destruction, separation from your Maker, or you can turn, look at Jesus, let Him have His way in your life, and things will alter, things will become different. Give Jesus the broken bits of your life, and He'll put you back together. That's what He does. It's one of the key words in the New Testament, restoration. So my friend, today, whether you're trapped in a homosexual lifestyle, whether you're grieving over that abortion, whether you're addicted, whether you're just depressed, wondering with all your money and friends why you should be depressed. You'll always get depressed. You'll never know who you are until you come back to your Maker. We were made by God. He's our Maker, and until you follow the Maker's instructions, your life will never work out. Mine never worked out.
Well, he'll have to get dancing, he'll have to do more.
43 years ago, at the age of 20, after God had been speaking, I responded. God's speaking to many of you. Make a response, my friend. Make a response. That dream, that invitation to go to church from a friend or colleague, that's God speaking to you. Your circumstances, again, messed up, you're in a mess. That's God allowing you to come to your senses. My friend, today, look to the Saviour, for He is the gate, the entrance to the narrow way. And the narrow way is the best way. It's the way of life, joy, purpose. You'll know where you're going. You won't be someone like perhaps you are at the moment, thinking my life's going nowhere. You may think that, but it's not. You're going somewhere, and it's not a good place. Separated from God ends in permanent separation, my friends, unless we make a decision, a different decision. In business, we hear all the time that if a company keeps making the same decisions and that company's going down, it's going to continue to go down unless a different decision is made. Look at Budweiser over in America. Not just bad, downright stupid decision. Oh, Dylan Mulvaney, what a disaster. That company will change its mind very quickly because of money. You can change your mind, my friend, not because of money, but because you want to get out of the mess you're in. God will hear your prayer. We heard the prayer of Hagar when she was cast out of her home with a young son and found herself in the desert, lost, alone, desperate. The best she could do, she thought, was to put her son under a tree and let him die. She went a distance away so she wouldn't have the trauma of watching her own son die. But God heard her prayer, and God came and answered Hagar and gave her back her life and the life of her son. And her son went on to become a great nation. God doesn't forget that desperate prayer you prayed. But when he answers you, you've got to respond to him. God bless you today. And I'll close with the story of Jason.
You've got all this thing there.
Jason was a man who was already met him about 20 years ago. About 22 years ago. When I met Jason, he was in his mid-30s. I met him at a Christian Bible camp. Where Dad said. And Jason, as we chatted, he shared some of his story. Jason, at that time when I met him, he'd been a Christian about a year or so. Prior to that, as he told me, he'd been a homosexual. He lived in the gay lifestyle for about 15 years. And he said to me how all through that time, the parties, the sex, all the rest of it, he'd had this deep down feeling that something was not right. And eventually, after 15 years, he was ready, he'd had enough as he were, and he met a group of Christians. What's that mean? He met this group of Christians, and they shared with him the mercy of Jesus, the power that Jesus does in a person's life, and he wanted it. Jason responded, a wholehearted response, and he said yes to Jesus. When I spoke to Jason, his face was beaming. For the first time in his life, he had joy, satisfaction. Why? Because God had rescued him from his gay lifestyle. And now God was his father. He had real friends in the church he was in. And his life had been turned around. You think that's a one-off? Of course not. Multitudes from all different backgrounds, gay, straight, addictions, paedophilia, murder. The Lord Jesus changes from the roots up. God, when he comes and changes your life, doesn't just knock off a few branches, help you with your lying or your aggression. No! Root and branch, he transforms you. And rather than feeding on a polluted, poison spring, death, Jesus is the well of life, the spring. And as we feed on him, our lives change. The story goes of a landlady way back in the early 60s. And in this house, the landlady owned many Irish men working on the motorways, about 20 of them. And all over this big old Victorian house, the landlady had little rules and regulations. Lift up the seat when you go and have a pee. wipe your feet, lights out at 10, all the rest of it. One day, one of these Irish men fell in love with the landlady, and overnight, the burden, the hassle, the ire of having to follow all these instructions went. Why? Because now he had an inner motivation. He loved the landlady, and it just flowed naturally, my friend. When Jesus comes on the inside of you, you won't find it difficult to tell the truth, because God's power is at work in your life. You'll find it much easier to say no to that which screws up your life. Today, heal the Lord Jesus and choose the narrow way, as he said, I am the gate for the sheep. God bless you today. Amen.